Hello, adventurer. It's good to see you. You have made it to the morning grind.
Welcome, welcome.
It's the live stream at the beginning of the Geekverse, where we talk about all types of topics in geekdom, gaming, and fantasy, with an emphasis on being constructive and creating the things that we want to exist in the world.
It's all on the grind, Sizemore. Can't be too fine, can't be too coarse.
That's exactly right. There are a lot of adventures to be had today. Dungeons to explore and monsters to slay, and who knows what a random encounter might send our way. That's why we have to prepare, so settle in now for the morning grind with your favorite beverage in hand.
Tea? Or maybe something a little stronger. I've got a few bottles of the old Wynyard left.
Whatever you want. Pull up a chair.
Dude.
If you're feeling fancy, how about a cappuccino? Or a frappuccino? Or how about an espresso?
Just tea, thank you.
Sounds good to me, Gandalf. Whatever you want. I'm just glad you're here.
Everyone is welcome. You can just watch if you want. You don't have to worship anything you don't want to worship.
Thank you, Mike. But be forewarned.
Sometimes we get really strange characters around here.
Wait, what's that you say? Why can't you come and be a part of the stream?
My wife would disown me.
Oh no, I bet she'll be fine with it. Come on in.
Am I scared for my safety? No.
What are we supposed to do?
Everybody do the secret handshake.
Secret cultist handshake.
Oh, now do wizards who love each other.
This, my friend, is a science.
I still don't have gifts, but it's fine.
It's all on the grind, son. Can't be too fine, can't be too coarse.
Dude, this would be a sick place to bring the band.
Indeed it would be, Dave. It really would. I'm seeing more people coming in. Welcome. Glad to have you here. Oh, look, here's someone new.
Is this the cultist meetup?
Yes it is.
Come to hang out? Please accept me. I have nothing else.
Okay, we accept you. Everyone's welcome here.
Brought some snacks.
Well, that makes things even better.
You want some coffee? I don't drink coffee. You sure?
It's cultist coffee.
What makes it cultist coffee?
I'm a cultist and I'm drinking it.
Oh. Then I'll have some.
What exactly is going on here?
I'm seeing more people coming in. Welcome. It's so great to have you. Oh, and look, here comes another stranger.
Can we help you?
Yes, fellow cultists. I could really use some food.
Oh yeah? Welcome. We have donuts.
Oh, it's me. I'm glad I'm here. I'm sure you have a few questions for me, though.
What's your name? Who do you work for? What god do you worship?
Great questions, Rob.
I'm Steve King, and I worship Nyarlathotep.
No, not really. I'm just Heath, and I won't be worshiping anything this morning. But I will be your host. Welcome to the office. We're going to have a great time. I've got my coffee ready, because now it's time for the morning grind.
If you could become a fish, that would be amazing. Then I could command you with my mental fish powers.
Hey, good morning, everyone. Good morning. It is great to see you. I hope you are doing well. I realize my rear light's not on all of a sudden, but hey, that's okay. How are you doing? I'm actually feeling really good this morning. Over the weekend, I had like the least productive 48 hours plus that I have had in months. I felt really terrible. I don't understand what's going on. I wasn't sick. I just was completely not productive. And so I'm feeling really good again this morning. So I hope that you are as well. This is let's turn. Can we get the rear light going? Let's get the rear light going. There we go. Look, rear light. There we go. So I'm feeling good this morning, and I hope you are too. So I see Mike is in the audience. We got Zero here. We're going to take a look at this Crown and Skull RPG today. I don't know anything about it, but this is one of the ones that was put out by RuneJammer. I know a lot of people have been talking about it, so I figured we should go ahead and take a look at it. It feels like a pretty good day to do that. I'm feeling good. I'm feeling happy. Welcome to my home. Welcome to the office. Welcome to the morning grind. I hope you're all right. I hope you're better than all right this morning. Lots of stuff going on around here, particularly this morning. I got some quotes back from manufacturers regarding the Cultist RPG. I decided that since we're doing miniatures and things, I would go ahead and send out to manufacturers for a few quotes on things. And I got those back last night, and I just barely started looking at them. I was doing some other things. I did take a moment to start reading some more of all right, here, the City of Reckoning, or it's just City of, there's no "the" in it, as Brianna corrected me, just City of Reckoning, so we can discuss this book for a second time with Doug and Brianna on the morning grind. I'm getting so close to the end. So I was working on that last night, still felt like I needed to do some reading. Did briefly look at these quotes, which I'm going to be looking at a bunch more today, trying to be able to get the miniatures ready, trying to get also some of the player packs and dice. I was particularly interested, like, how much does it cost to make these molded dice? It looks like possible. It looks like possible. So I'm going to be looking at that one more time. I'll be looking at that in detail this afternoon. So, or this after the stream anyway. So I got those back. That is fantastic. So we can start to move forward with those. I'm liking this idea. I also it looks like it got some art back for the Cultist RPG. I noticed that this morning. I've got to take a look at that. Because I went ahead and started to commission the portrait art for all of the pre-generated Cultist characters. If you don't know, if you're here new, The Cultist is my comedy web show about modern-day Lovecraftian cultists just trying to worship Cthulhu in a world full of people who don't understand. And we were working on an RPG for it, and we have miniatures for it, and we're going to need art for it. So I decided to go ahead and commission the portrait art for each one of the characters. I was talking to the artist the other day. I think it was like she sent me some more material this morning or last night, so I got it this morning. So I'm going ahead and getting that, and that way we can make a digital tabletop for it, so that we can play in the coffee shop, in the online coffee shop. The online coffee shop is where we meet to play online games. And hey, by the way, this Friday at 7:30 p.m. Central Time, I'm going to be running a Hero Quest game there. I'm only taking 4 players, but I'll email everybody on the coffee shop email list and let them know that I've got 4 slots for Hero Quest. Although if someone else would like to host a game, if somebody else would like to play Zargon, then they are welcome to, because we might have more than 4 people interested. Mike says, is the art in the same cartoon style? It's a different artist. So this is a different artist than Adam Botsford. Adam M. Botsford did the cover illustrations. I have another artist who's working on the interior illustrations. It's black and white line work, and I was trying to talk to her about kind of a cartoon feel. So that kind of thing, but a different artist and her interpretation on it. Hey, Steel Mongoose. Okay, so that is happening. Let's see, what else is going on right now. I've got a bunch of posting I got to do. I got a bunch of emailing I got to do. I got to look at all of these quotes, like I was saying, and then I need to. Basically, the last thing it's got to do is I got to readjust what's actually on that Kickstarter page for the Cultist RPG, based on the information that's contained within these quotes. Let's see. And this afternoon, I do have a meeting with Cameron. Cameron and I are going to be talking about a couple of things. We're talking about the Clovis story, which is one of the first in the Tales of Rabavania. I've been writing that. Oh, yep. Okay. Hang on. Let me do that in just 1 second. I'll be happy to do that, BGD. So but Cameron and I are talking this afternoon about the Clovis story, which is my mythological beginning to the Tales of Rabavania. I was talking to Brianna about that last week. Brianna and I finally had a creative meeting last week, and we were talking about different stories and things like that. And I think I have the beat on that Clovis story. It was rejected originally. I mean, it was rejected trying to go back, but I think I've got the story structure. It actually sounds like Brianna and I were talking about, and I want to talk to Cameron about this afternoon, that it's more like a limited edition, a limited TV series, like limited run TV series, like maybe 7 or 8 episodes or something like that, rather than one single story, because it's structured episodically. It was intentionally structured episodically. I didn't have it completely right the first time, but if it's episodic, then it would make more sense for some kind of like limited limited TV show. So I'm going to talk to Cameron about that this afternoon. I also sent him the short story, The Trial of St. Gabriel, and he is going to be commenting on that and seeing if there's anything that I can possibly do with The Trial of St. Gabriel, or if, you know, it's not worth it. I don't know. So I'm going to see what he has to say about that this afternoon. So that's going on. Brianna and I may talk. So all of a sudden, Wednesday is a busy day. Okay, BGD says, I hope you will please mention RuneJammer. Yes, July 20th to 27th, seats still available in 27 games starting this weekend. Okay, games starting this weekend. Let's bring that up. Let's bring up the RuneJammer 2024. All right, here's the link. RuneJammer online. Hey, James, good to see you. All right, so if you want to play in the index card RPG, oh, let me stop sharing so I can share something else. If you want to play some index card RPG, right here, RuneJammer is the place to be. Starting this weekend, July 20th to 27th, seats still available in 27 games starting this weekend. This right here. So join the RuneHammer fan games community for RuneJammer 2024, a week of completely free online role-playing game sessions offered around the clock from July 20th to the 27th. Enjoy the index card RPG, DM Scotty's Easy D6, and the all-new Crown and Skull system. So you'll be able to play this one at RuneJammer. So it's very apropos that we are talking about this one today, or have it up. So if you like this thing that we were looking at, this RPG that we're looking at today, you might be able to get in on a game. Let's see. Visit. Here we go. RuneJammer today. This may be the better link right here. RuneJammer registration is now open. This may be a more direct link. RuneJammer direct link. There we go. So check that out. Bacon Gaming says, I have a Cthulhu ICRPG seat and a Crown and Skull seat. Let me tell you, I just feel like I have had a complete lack of productivity for months. I am not getting this done. BGD is one of the GMs. Yes, BGD is one of the GMs during RuneJammer. The full event schedule is linked below. Yeah, so let's see. Is that event registration? Go here to event registration, and here we go. So here is everything you got. So click the link on that second link, or click the first link on that second link I sent to you, and you've got the entire schedule of games right here. This is pretty amazing. Look, there's Crown and Skull on Friday the 26th. Crown and Skull, you've been hired to help investigate finding a vital resource that could turn the tide against the Froggish Empire and Emperor Crocomon's tyranny. Crown and Skull, player's choice. You pick LOG, L-O-G. Players who sign up for the season will be able to pick their genre, setting, starting location, obstacle, and goal. We'll use either Index Card RPG or Crown and Skull version 1. Okay. All right. Well, let's check it out. Let's find out what it's all about. Whoop, stop screen sharing. Let's pull up the Crown and Skull RPG and see what is. I just downloaded this morning. This is the free player's guide. Yeah, free player's guide for Crown and Skull. I have not looked at it. I don't know anything about it. So let's find out together. Hey, let's breathe and sip first. Let's breathe and sip. Everybody got their favorite beverage this morning? I've got mine. It can be coffee. It can be Coke Zero. It can be tea. It can be whatever it is that you want it to be. Let's take a moment and let's breathe and sip. Let's inhale through the nose, deep inhales, and then we're going to exhale through the mouth. Deep inhales, complete exhales, and then we'll take a sip of our favorite beverage this morning. So here we go. Let's breathe. And sip. There we go. All right, feeling good. All right, let's see what Crown and Skull is all about. Okay, actually, I see that this is grayed out over here, and that says GM's guide. So apparently, the free player's guide is just the player's guide side of things, but that should give us plenty of opportunity to check out what this is all about and understand it. So we got concept and content, a player's focus, the North holds game flow, making rolls. This is still a large PDF. It's got a 78-page PDF, but you can see there's some stuff that's missing from this. That's a pretty good way to do it, actually. Let people know what the what else you get if you purchase the whole RPG. But still, if this is everything that the player needs, this is really good. Okay, so forward, it says, welcome to Crown and Skull, a new RPG system and setting created from hundreds of hours of play in several player groups over a 3-year period. My groups are always seeking new ways to play. This book represents a coalescence of our latest and greatest themes, mechanics, monsters, and mapless maps. The system here will provide a significant departure from the deeply ingrained D20 genre that has seen such a meteoric growth in recent years. As such, settle for a brain-tickling ride into new mindsets and methods. If you feel a bit challenged by the player-focused aspects of this system, that means you're in a sweet spot. It may be that long overdue moment you and your group break into new territory. No small amount of inspirational credit must be given to Steven Peterson and to his team at Fantasy Heroes First Edition, Steve Jackson and the GURPS team, and David Wesley, David Arneson, and their realms of Braunstein Blackmore. These creatures were my initiation into role-playing, along with many others, and made a formative mark on my young mind. Also into the odd, Chris McDowell and Cairn. Yoke Gall must be mentioned for their influences. Veterans of those rules and worlds will see their ghosts flittering here and there in the pages ahead, but in spirit only. No one artifact of these brilliant works can be found here, nor is any compatibility or direct link inferred or included. Special infinite thanks goes to my stalwart players, the Council of Magi, Dirty Jobs, the Cypher Rebellion, and the Immortals. They are the soil in which this game grows. Their patience and incredible role-playing gave rise to many dark and hopeful truths in these pages. Settle in with pen and journal, mighty reader, and let me tell you of the days of the Blood-Wing War and when nations fell and shadows sharpened. This is the North Holds, and there are a few roads from here. Okay, so the North Holds, this looks like a setting. The ever grateful, ever strong RuneJammer. Okay, a learning stone. Oh, is this a story? Let's skip over the story. Okay, concepts and content. Okay, so what are we doing with this game? Before we dive into the process of imagining an entire world, numerous storylines, possible heroes and villains, game mechanics, character concepts, and how it would all come together, let's get our footing. Whether you're new to tabletop role-playing or a battle-scarred veteran of yesteryear, all good games begin with the same phrase. Wouldn't it be cool if? Every day we dream of things we crave. Oh, Gen Con, I can't attend with Gen Con the week after. Is too much tabletop for me to remember what I need. Yeah, Gen Con's coming up too. You know, I was wondering, actually, you brought up conventions here. You know, I used to go to conventions when I was with Infinite Black, and that was a lot of fun. I mean, the conventions were a lot of fun, but they're also a lot of work. They take a lot of time and effort before and after the convention, not only at the convention, but I mean, before the lead up to convention. I mean, when David and I were putting together the Infinite Black convention setup, I mean, it was just him and me. So, you know, that took like 2 weeks. 2 weeks in advance, we started really, okay, we got to get all this convention stuff set up and make sure it's packed and we got everything. I mean, that's no small thing. But I had vaguely in the back of my head, like, I was like, gee, getting back on the convention circuit would be nice. Hey, Brett, welcome. Getting back on the convention circuit would be nice. I know some of them have places for authors, and I was wondering, would I have enough books to set up an author table or something like that? Because I'm not sure that I'm really interested in having the in going through all of the rigmarole of a standard table. Maybe something like an author's table or something like that. at a couple of conventions might be fun. I don't know. I just had that in the back of my head. So I know, yeah, it's convention season. Origins, Gen Con. I'm sure a lot of people here are going to that. Lots of fun. So this says every day we dream of things we crave, whether it be that first cup of coffee, our last day of finals, slaying at the gym, or finishing a project. We visualize our outcomes of daily life or set our wills to hard work, and then the magic happens. We imagine other things. We daydream about wide open fields, trackless wildernesses, friends clanging mugs in lantern-lit taverns, freedom and exploration, swords flashing, and heroism well earned. For fantasy fans everywhere, this is a daily exercise, dreaming of a world of adventure. If you do this, you're ready to role play. If you've role played before and you find yourself dreaming of worlds beyond your own, it's time to get back into the hobby. You, my friend, like me, are ripe with the substance of role playing concepts. Role playing concepts are the simple foundation that you'll bring to Crown and Skull. You'll imagine yourself in each scene, your friends emerging from the landscape, your own details adding to a living view of the imaginary universe. All the muscles of reading a great novel will serve well here, translating words into images, and images into emotions. How do you fit into it all? Wouldn't it be cool if this was your story? This time it is you. Okay, role-playing games have been around in the form we know them today since the late 1960s. There's no need to get too deep into what is a role-playing discussion. What is role-playing discussion? Just get those daydreams in your head, see yourself in the pages to come, and you'll be ready for anything. All right. The real skill set of role-playing is the translation of concepts into a playable content. Anyone can imagine themselves slaying a dragon with a silver sword. The art of making a gaming hobby is the art of the gaming hobby is codifying that scene into risks and uncertainties, making a gamble of it all and seeing what happens. That art falls on you, dear reader, whether player or game master. World. Much of the book portrays a world the North holds. So this is our setting. The vast space is our backdrop, but its details are far more than stage setting. The world provides its own invitations, dilemmas, and challenges. Answering those calls is what usually sets things in motion. Characters. Players change concepts into content by building mechanically sound and emotionally compelling characters. Heroes, hermits, and explorers all play their part, giving the world life. Enemies. Before our heroes can do whatever they please, they'll have to face foes to contend with. Okay, I think we know all of this. Let's actually, how do we actually play this? What is this game about? So a player focus. In many RPGs, the game master is an ever deeper source of almost everything at the table besides role play and decision making. In combat, this becomes even more apparent as the GM is often thinking for numerous monsters and environmental hazards, making lots of rolls and even assisting players with their target rolls and hoped for output values. This can lead to cognitive overload for the GMs, but is considered acceptable as GMs are often the most enthusiastic about the hobby in general. In Crown and Skull, there's an intrinsic call to players. You are now the focus. All right, let's see what that means. Hey, Sable. Good morning. Good to see you. We're checking out this Crown and Skull. I don't know anything about it. So this is player facing. The term player facing in the role-playing hobby refers to roles and mechanics that do not require input or answers from the GM. Rather, players need only consult their own sheet and resources, personal and unique to them, to make rolls, attempt actions, attack foes, and determine the output values of their work. Rather than asking, what's my target on this roll, the player will always know the answer, rolling in the context of their skills and equipment. Just knowing what you're trying to roll is hardly a robust player-facing game, though. Here's where you, dear reader, are called upon to step up as a Crown and Skull player. In this game, there are numerous aspects aimed squarely at you. Let's start with the soft elements. Acquired player expertise. An expert player doesn't just stay focused on the game, expedite turn time, lift up players, and role play with the best of them. Player expertise is also found in a deep comprehension of the mechanics and thematics of the game. This comes with time and attention. Has anybody played this? Are there people in the chat who have played Crown and Skull? Has anybody been in a Crown and Skull game? Or have you read this? Have you already been through this? Have you read it? Have you tried to play it? I know it's reasonably new. Gathering character knowledge. Your character will gain knowledge of foes, treasure, magic, politics, geography, and more as they grow. This area is entirely for your purview. The GM won't remember what you may or may not remember. Finding synergy. Throughout this book, there are numerous easy-to-miss interconnections. The masterful players find and exploit these synergies with style and effect, making the most of any details given. Okay, a player-focused. Beyond the soft skills of a player-focused game experience, we have more mechanical expectations for the system. Okay, making rolls. Since the GM has far fewer rolls to make, the players will find themselves making a great deal more rolls during play. This places the burden of speedy play on the player. Rolling defense to avoid a Fomorian mandible bite. Be ready. Know what your target is, where your D20 is hiding, and the like. Knowing the ins and outs of your character becomes far more important when you're making 5 times the number of rolls than the rolls, 5 times the rolls of the GM. It also means there's seldom a dull moment. Building elements with points. It's one thing to play skillfully within given elements and things from the book. Crown and Skull takes player facing to a whole new level by entrusting players with the construction of new and emergent elements of play by granting hero points. These points can be earned in many ways, and they allow you, the player, to invent spells, equipment, and other progression abilities as play proceeds. All right. So then we go into the North Holds here. Oh, Sable says that Crown and Skull is next on my list for RPG purchases. Oh, but Bacon is playing this time for the first time on Wednesday. I think that's in the RuneJammer. So let's see. Okay, so we got the North Hold. So this is all setting information. Okay, making rolls. So this looks like some of the mechanics of the game, is how to play. Great games always include interesting and varied roles for the players. All kinds of moments will be called for the rolling of dice in the categories below. Excuse me. Flat roll. To test simple, unmodified luck, the GM may call for a flat roll. This simple roll is made on a d20, rolling at or below the target or opposed roll to succeed. You grab hold of the anchor chain to pull, but a fish man is pulling from below the waves. Let's see who can roll the lowest on a d20. A player declared skill roll. Often during play, you will announce, I will roll my jump skill to leap over this creek or some equivalent. The D20 at or below that skill's listed value to succeed. Roll D20 at or below that skill's listed value to succeed. In some cases, a difficulty penalty will reduce the skill's value. Note that many specialized or athletic reactions are simply not possible without a working skill. You strain to bend the bars, but without a muscle skill, you accomplish nothing. Okay, called for defense rolls. Enemies do not make attack rolls. When attacked, the GM will ask for you to roll defense. Roll at or below this value to avoid injury from the incoming attack. An enemy stat attack will act as a penalty to reduce defense rolls. The serpent lashes out at you. The viper has attack 3, so roll defense with a -3 penalty. Rolling damage effect. There is no to hit roll in Crown and Skull. When you attack, you roll damage instantly. This roll can be used. This can use a wide variety of dice. Add the total rolled for damage inflicted. This roll can be reduced by an enemy stat called defense, or DEF. I guess that's what that is. Yes, no rolls. When important yes, no questions come up and the GM doesn't have an answer, roll D6. 1 to 3 is no. 5 to 6 is yes. All other rolls. How long until the boat arrives? How many hound masters are there? How tall is the statue? How much armor does this knight have? All kinds of numbers are needed and rolled for play. Be flexible, ready for anything, and trust the dice absolutely. Okay, attrition. Let's see. Attrition. Sustaining damage from hazards and attacks is part of any RPG. You'll be hit by rocks or hit by arrows, knocked on your head, sustain sword cuts, or drop items when exhausted. Attribution is a term for the reduction of your character's resources when hit by attacks and hazards and attacks. Here's how it works. When injured, cross off equipment and or skills. Well, this sounds like the knave we were just looking at, right? Of course, knave did have hit points, but then once you got past hit points, you're crossing off equipment and your equipment slots. So this says, when injured, cross off equipment and or skills. Cross them off. When you're hurt, you'll be losing use of your skills or gear. Crossed off equipment and skills cannot be used until restored or repaired. Role play it. Attrition impairs your senses, physical wellness, or equipment beyond use. In some cases, items may be lost permanently, but skills are never permanently lost. A few simple rules govern attrition. Attrition types. Enemies and hazards will hit you in one of 5 ways. Basic attrition. Cross off any one equipment or skill. Flesh attrition. Randomly select a skill and cross it off. Equipment attrition. Randomly select one equipment and cross it off. Destroy attrition. Destroy one random equipment and cross off one randomly selected skill. Destroyed equipment is permanently lost. Brutal attrition. Cross off 1d6 total random equipment and skills. Okay. All characters are allowed 10 skills and 10 items in their inventory maximum. All small items are counted as a single pouch item. Healing and repair. Upon successful heal by magic, potion, or first aid, restore one crossed off skill. For damaged equipment, use repair or armor skill. Destroyed gear will need to be replaced entirely. Rest and recovery. Regain a combined 1d4 of equipment and skills with a night's rest and safety. Additionally, after each, so this is how you're degrading the heroes. So I think that's how this is. How do we want to be degrading heroes or the player characters through damage? That's just what it sounds like. So how are we going to do that? How are we going to degrade them? We're going to degrade them by taking away their skills so they can do less, and also their equipment, which also means they can do less. So we're degrading the characters directly by removing their ability to do things. Regain a combined 1d4 of equipment and skills with a night's rest and safety. Additionally, after each scene in play, once safety is found and no enemies or timers are incoming, take a breather, regain one equipment or skill, catch your breath, ready to go. After each scene in play, once safety is found and no enemies or timers are incoming, take a breather and regain one equipment or skill. Death. If a hit can't be absorbed by inventory, then you take a hit to the heart and will die at the end of the next phase. Does that include skills? If a hit can't be absorbed by inventory, I guess, does that include the skills? You take a hit to the heart and will die at the end of the next phase 5 unless healed. Phase, please roll on. Please read on. Mike says, any thoughts on the attrition system? I'm not sure what I think of it yet. It seems incongruous with the fiction that might cause it, but I'm open to being wrong. I don't know that the games that use this care about that too much. I mean, I was trying to figure that out with Knave, the Knave 2nd edition, when, okay, you get hit and then you're losing parts of your equipment. And now here it looks like it's random. There you were going through your equipment slots that are hit in a very specific way. And so organizing your equipment so that in directions where you would most likely not want to lose them, you know, in your what you most want to have with you, seemed like an important part of that game. This one looks like it's random, so you don't have to play the mini game of trying to organize your player character sheet. But, you know, I guess when I was thinking about losing skills, I'm thinking about being injured in a part of the body that is critical to that skill. I can no longer do boating, I guess, you know, because my arm is injured and now I can't row, I guess. Or if you're got a running skill or something like that, I guess, okay, now I've got an injury to the leg, which impairs my running skill. I guess that's how I was thinking of it. Phases are a unique aspect of Crown and Skull. They divide time into bite-sized pieces and give players turn, orders, timing, and detail as each scene unfolds. Enemies also use phases to act. The 5 phases. Think of phases as cool moments in an action scene. A collection of these moments is called a round. Which phase a hero takes action is a meaningful choice for timing and strategy. There are no held actions here, as in many RPGs, and your phase is locked for the encounter once chosen, so choose with intent. Which phase a hero takes action is a meaningful choice for timing and strategy. So you got 5 phases, choosing a phase. Just one second. I need to shut this door over here. Just one second. All right, got it. Thank you. So generally, players will agree on which phase is best, especially after a few battles and form their decision. What does that mean? What phase a character chooses can be changed, but not mid-combat. Players can also choose the same phase. Track your choice on your character sheet here. We haven't looked at a character sheet yet. Page 17. And ordinarily we do. Okay, I don't immediately see a character sheet. Okay, but anyway, you're choosing your phase. On your phase, when your phase comes up, it's your turn to act. You have 3 options listed below. Move. Move elsewhere in the scene, about 6 inches of table space. A small sidestep moves allowed without using one's phase. Perform an action. Make an attack, use a skill, cast a spell, or perform one discrete action. This takes your entire phase. Hurry. If you need to move and do something in one turn, your haste opens up your defenses with clumsy haste. All enemies in the scene gain +5 attack against you for 1 round. Hurry can only be used for a move plus action combo, not dual action or dual move. Okay. Enemy phases. Foes will act in 1 to 3 phases per round. A monster attacking in phases 1, 3, and 5, for example, will keep an entire team of heroes occupied. Anytime enemies and heroes share a phase, heroes go first. Oh, hey, look, it's RuneJammer. Welcome, welcome. Good to see you. RuneJammer says, haha, there is no character sheet in the book. Okay, so I didn't just miss it. Often we take a look at the character sheet early on just to see what the game is all about. Sable Phoenix says, yep, RuneJammer, it's the man himself. Your game design philosophies are genius, sir. Anything you make, I've loved. And I want to invite you on to Table Talk. You need to come on to Table Talk with us one night and have a discussion. Let's see. Okay, so foes will act in 1 to 3 phases per round. So this is like a monster. If the monster gets to attack in multiple phases, then that monster may be something that's suitable for a group of heroes to attack, to fight, as I understand it. So the GM call. During play, the GM will keep things cruising along by calling for actions during a phase. Okay, it's now phase 3. Who's up? Lucy, that's you. The wolves are coming fast. And what will you do? Okay, so I'm taking it that when we're talking about, it says, generally players will agree on which phase is best, especially after a few battles and form their decision. I'm guessing that means best for them. Like when you've got the different characters who are fighting here. I guess if you have players who are fighting here, according to their own abilities and skills and whatever else, they'll come up with some order that is best for them. I guess that's how I'm understanding that now. Oh, okay. So RuneJammer says, I believe players should make character sheets. Okay, so you create your own character sheet, rather than have one provided for you. RuneJammer says, yep, there are a million ways to use phases or make it simple. Okay, so it seems like I got some of that right. Okay, so the hero points. In the course of their perilous lives, our heroes will need replacement gear, healing herbs, new skills, magic elixirs, wagons, war horses, hired thugs, bribe funds, beach huts, and court finery to survive and thrive. Crown and Skull uses hero points for players to buy items and upgrade their characters. You'll be using hero points to create and later grow your character. The GM will award hero points after each session, granting more for session MVP or other momentous elements of play. In Crown and Skull, this replaces the heaping of treasure. As such, you'll be looking for a chance to spend these gathered points on new skills, spells, improved equipment, and even an animal companion. There is, however, a key limitation to your spending opportunities. Hero points can only be spent to upgrade a character when resting in a safe place with required facilities or services. Okay. At first, this limitation may not seem like much. Resting to regain resources is very common in many RPGs. Simple restoration occurs by the rules on page 12. Spending hero points is a different matter, requiring rest, safety, skilled people, special equipment, training, or technical services to perform. In short, spending hero points is not just rest. It's an active state of character development with more specific requirements than rest and safety. Okay, I like that. That's kind of going back to like paying for training for leveling up. I guess kind of bringing that forward. Upgrading or creating new armor might require a forge, anvil, or capable blacksmith. Improving a falconry skill requires meeting with a local expert. Upgrading a magic skill might be achieved by reading from ageless tablets or dusty tomes. This limitation, combined with life of travel and danger, should make the spending of hero points a milestone moment for any character. Can it be a town? Gods above, let's go. I've been sitting on a dozen points for ages. Okay, the extremes. I mean, I like that. I feel pretty good about that. You've got the points, but hey, or I wonder. Some games like Call of Cthulhu, when we're talking about like how do you upgrade a skill? Well, you have to have actually used that skill during gameplay. Maybe I hear somebody coming in on Discord. Someone might be trying to get my attention. Oh, we did just get BGD just sent the official Crown and Skull character sheet. Okay, hang on. Let me show this to you. Thank you. Let me save this. Let me save this to my computer. All right, so official Crown and Skull character sheet. Well, hang on. Let me pull it up. There you go. How about that? I should ask the question about the death save and inventory question. Are you talking about how we square the narrative of the okay, so we were talking about how do we square the narrative of the story with the loss of equipment or skills? So I was saying I would interpret, okay, so am I supposed to interpret an attack which stops me from utilizing my run skill by being an injury to the leg? Or I know, okay, now my boating skill has gone away, so I need to interpret that narratively as an injury to the arm so that I can no longer row. Yep, so this is utterly blank. So this is okay, so there is it did say like here's the round tracker. So that is shown up here. So there isn't much here. But your round tracker or your phase tracker, which one of your phase tracker is up here, which phase you're in is up here. And then this might be like inventory or something down here. So it's blank for you to creatively use. With a death save, it mentions inventory. Oh yeah. With the death save, so we were wondering that. So that is okay. So that is a great question. I forgot I had that question. So let me take that down. And let me go back. Because it did say, okay, I'm on page 18 of this PDF. We were talking about injury, and we had the question like right here. If a hit can't be absorbed by inventory, so what exactly does that mean? If a hit can't be absorbed by inventory, you take a hit to the heart and will die at the end of the next phase unless healed. And next phase 5 unless healed. Phase, read on. Does that mean, does inventory my physical inventory, my items, or does that include my skills? So is inventory including my skills here? If a hit can't be absorbed by inventory, but I'm supposed to sometimes like take my, I guess, my run skill as a hit. Is it including my skills as inventory? Yeah, that's a great question. Inventory. So RuneJammer says inventory is skills and gear. Okay. It's your entire attrition bank, skills and gear. Okay. All right. Excellent. Thank you. Espresso RPG, welcome, welcome. Espresso RPG says, it's interesting how this game crystallizes a lot of current tabletop RPG dev preferences I see in various game-making communities, almost like OSR is about to change again. Oh, but hey, here's to you, Espresso RPG. I don't know if we've seen you in the comments before, so here's a drink to you. Attrition takes more forms as well. All right, let's see. The extremes. During play, things can get intense. Some roles are all but impossible. Death can be too close. Defeat imminent. At times like these, the extremes of the game are your only chances, so know them well. Negotiation. Characters often get themselves into terrible situations of danger and limited time. When this happens, roles can become prohibitively difficult. This is a time to negotiate with the GM. Negotiate with the GM, seeking environmental or strategic elements that can soften the difficulty. Don't be shy. The wall isn't climbable. Can I lean against one of these desks against it for a boost? Critical success and failure. Extreme success and failures are called crits, criticals or crits. A D20 roll of 1 scores a critical success. Okay, so that's good to know. So we're rolling low. A D20 roll of 1 scores a critical success, and a score of 20 is a critical failure. Each of these rolls will create a maximal version of success or failure. Critical successes overcome impossible odds, grant extra time, or defy belief. Critical failures cost precious equipment, accelerate destructive environments, or lend advantages to foes. It's a crit. Not only do you leap the creep, but your pursuer falls in. Hero coins. Acts of heroism or astounding play are awarded by the GM with a hero coin. A hero coin, not to be confused with hero points, okay, can be redeemed to 1, reroll any roll entirely, or 2, maximize the damage or output of an attack or effect. Coins can be freely given between players. A player may only have 1 coin at a time. We need this attack to be huge. We're out of options. Here, take my coin. Sable says, I'd be really curious how cross-pollination between OSR and narrative-focused games based on things like Powered by the Apocalypse or FITD, was that, oh, what is that? Have influenced game design up to the current moment. They both seem to be striving for the same thing. Something in the dark? So Sable says, that is minimalist mechanics that enhances speed of play and improvisation. It's just OSR, forged in the dark. Forged in the dark. I know it was something in the dark. Forged in the dark. Thank you, Mike. That is minimalist mechanics that enhance speed of play and improvisation. It's just OSR ties that more towards more towards dice randomness than Powered by the Apocalypse or Forged in the Dark leans on player and GM swapping improv authority. Metagaming is a note. In an effort to overcome or outwit the odds, players may find themselves metagaming, that is, using their overall knowledge of game mechanics to exploit details or loopholes. This has 2 forms, one good and one bad. The good kind of metagame means players use deep knowledge of items and mechanics to maximize their chances. The bad kind, often called cheesing, employs hard-to-believe or flimsy methods to make things easier or gimp the game. Leaping from rock to rock to earn a deadly attack, great. Patting your hero with ham sandwiches to avoid attrition, not very cool. My fighter has 10 skills, all at value 3. My inventory is mainly free biscuits. I also carry a bag of backup biscuits. Dude. Oh, okay, because you're supposed to be dropping inventory at something like that. So the point is that we've got useless items in the inventory to absorb damage. So there needs to be some type of call about what are so it seems like the game style here would be all of the equipment in the inventory needs to be significant. And because the point is to degrade you through this attrition loss. And so the loss of a ham sandwich is not degrading the character in any way. So it doesn't qualify as something that should be in the physical inventory. RuneJammer says Crown trusts its players not to be cheesy. Character creation. Once you have a sense of the basic flow of the game, it's time to get into some nuts and bolts decisions to build a playable character. Grab a Crown and Skull character sheet or use just your trusty journal to jot down skills and ideas, or start drawing the ever-important character portrait. To build your character, to get right into rolling dice with no hassle, choose a hometown and then choose a character template starting on page 24. This will get you started playing instantly without learning the point build system. You can then use the character prompts on page 26 to get story and background ideas. Typically, we go through creating a character later after we've actually seen everything about play. Let me skip through here. So we got hometown, character templates. Well, this does say if you're eager to jump right in. So let's look at this. New to Crown and Skull and eager to jump right in, once you and your character have chosen your hometown, simply choose a template below, choose your equipment, and add up all armor for your defense score, 6 plus total armor worn. Give your character a name, and you're ready to go. So our templates include Soldier. You specialize in weapons and armor. On adventures and quests, your allies look to you to take a beating in sea flows dispatched. Flaw is stubborn. Core ability, Battle Master. Damage dice rolled maximum or rolled again. There's no limit to the number of times the dice can explode. Skills include Armor 8, Evade 8, Knowledge, Military Tactics 8, and Muscle 7. Equipment, choose 9 points of basic equipment and basic armaments. Steel Mongoose says, I'm loving how indie designers are seeing how redundant game systems, fantasy in particular, have been and are just discarding systems that are already being handled by other systems. And Sable Phoenix says, maybe that's the core push behind what I was talking about a minute ago with the convergent evolution of different system philosophies. So this does, you don't see this all that often in D20 systems where people put the skill on the character sheet. That's GURPS-like. Of course, it did reference GURPS in the beginning. That to me is an advantage of something like GURPS, where you have that number on your character sheet. Okay, I'm going to roll jump, or I'm going to roll armorer or something like that. Well, what do I need to roll? Well, often in like D20 games, that's described as a bonus, and you need to receive other information from the game master. In other, that's information that you can't complete your turn. I guess that was my point. You can't complete your skill roll without input from the game master, which is what this game is trying to avoid. If you say that your armor skill is a +3, okay, I'm going to roll armor. What is my target number? You have to get that information from the game master in a typical D20 kind of system. In GURPS, and also here, I'm going to roll armorer. You know what your armorer skill is. You don't require any other further input from the game master in order to execute that task, which I do like. We talk about that when we're talking about game design quite a bit. No stats here, though. And so it's all the skills, but you're putting the numbers, but you're putting the target values on the character sheet, right? We have adventurer. We've got sage. We've got smith, cleric, hoodlum. Character prompts 1 is seeking a random concept for a new character. Roll in these tables to inform a point build process, template, or hometown choice. Okay. Character prompts 2. Character prompts 3. Character prompts 4. Creating the character through a sentence. I do kind of like this. I'm thinking about that when we're talking about creating characters in kind of like a fate-like way with different attributes and things like that. Creating your character through rolling on these sentences. We often do that with magic items, and we're doing that in Knave, even with spells. Construct a character by narratively arranging these sentences. I like that. There are literally no character stats, just a universal dice pool for every player. As RuneJammer says, yeah, but without stats, there are no bonuses. Okay, right. Okay, I guess I see what you're saying now. Yeah, it's not like in D20 where you have a strength stat that gives you a +3. That's what I was getting at. That you're putting the number right there. I think I was using statistic in a more general sense. Oh, I'm out of order here. It's a skill-based game. If everyone could make a functional statless RPG, if someone could make a functional statless RPG, that's a real accomplishment. Maybe that's why 10 Candles is so evocative. Yeah, no character stats in 10 Candles. RuneJammer. So going with the GURPS philosophy here, roll under eliminates target numbers and is great. Because you don't, and my reason why that's great is because you don't require additional input from the game master. Although people do start to include input from the game master, where if you say, all right, I'm going to roll jump. Okay, then your jump value is on your character sheet, unless the game master is going to impose a -5 penalty or something like that. Or this is a really easy jump, so it's +3. Okay, then you're adding back in game master input to the ability to complete complete that task. Oh, Bacon prefers roll under systems, and Sable has always been a fan of roll under. Yeah, you have to remind everybody that, hey, the 20 is bad here. Yeah, but I would say that I guess that's the key, what Mike brings up. GM input seems optional rather than required in that kind of a situation. Okay, roll your jump. Okay, just do it. It depends on what you can. Yeah, so I guess that's it. That we end up with optional G input rather than required GM input on every decision. If you look at Steel Mongoose says, if you look at a D&D character's equipment list, you can probably guess his attribute scores and what his bonuses are. Well, it depends on what you want. You know, if you're looking at your character sheet, hey, if there's something with the higher the number by something, that means you're better at it. That seems to make sense. Oh, look, I got a 6 in jump and I got an 8 in armory. I guess I'm better at armoring things than I am at jumping over things because 8 is higher than 6. But that does mean that when you roll the die, you're trying to roll low. And more intuitively, people want to roll high numbers on a die. But do you want to see high numbers on the score on your character sheet, or do you want to try to roll high numbers on the dice? The thing that does both of those things is bonuses and die roll. That's where you get targeted number, because you've got a bonus on your character sheet. The higher the bonus, the better you are at the whatever it is that you're talking about. And you want to roll high on that die, so you add them together to try to exceed a target number. That allows you to have high numbers on your character sheet, higher indicating better, and it allows you to have rolling high being better. Yeah, because if you're talking about like a save in AD&D, when the save, you're like, oh, no, on the saves, Lower numbers are better because you're going to try to roll equal to or above that number. In that kind of situation, we're trying to roll equal to or over a number, and you're not involving a modifier, then the smaller the number on your character sheet, the better it is. Espresso says, I feel like this is a moot point after a session or two. People get excited for one pretty quickly. Christopher Johnson says, and those that play percentile systems. Yes, there are percentile systems too. Here's to you, Christopher Johnson. That was like when I was playing GURPS. I invited some friends over to play GURPS, and we were playing one of the Shahagwin trilogy, the very first Shahagwin trilogy. At the table, first time we were doing it through GURPS. I was running it all throughout GURPS. The very first time the player rolled, there was the sea elf in the water that you had to rescue. The players are on a boat. There's a sea elf in the water. You try to bring her on board. They haul her up. You know, she's in desperate straits, and one of the players wants to roll first aid on her to try to, help her out. First roll ever in this type of triple sixes. In GURPS, that's critical failure because you're trying to roll low. So everybody who rolls triple sixes, everybody yells, yes, all right. No, wait a minute. This is GURPS. Rolling low is good. That was a critical failure. You just tried to administer CPR to this sea elf and crushed her rib cage or something like that. Yeah, MERP is trying to roll. You're trying to roll high, right, with percentile, and Call of Cthulhu is trying to roll under, right. Let's see, character. So we're talking about designing a character through constructing a narrative sentence here. Let's get past how to create a character. What is this? Custom character creation. Okay, so let's keep going. Flaws. Core ability. Okay, select a core ability. You gain a mechanical specialization. A character can only have one. Core abilities cost 15 hero points. These things are like Battle Master, Brutal Fighter, Druid, Empath, Go Unnoticed, Mountaineer, Paragon of Faith, Protector, Spellslinger, Uncanny Shot, Veteran Commander, Wizard Savant. Skills are a diverse look at what your character has studied over the years. Character skill inventory is limited to 10 skills. Roll at or under skill value on D20. Skills include things like muscle, oratory, pickpocket, profession, resist, repair, riding, sailing, scholar, scout, shield fighting, skinning, survival, tracking, trading. Savvy players should take note of the immense value of the evade, muscle, and resist skills. These foundational skills will come up often in play when confronting enemies, avoiding area of effects, or surviving dungeon terrain. Dangerous terrain. Equipment list. Large items, basic armaments list. So we do have damage here. So like wood axe is a D6 damage, thrown double damage on wood, cost 1 point. So this is your point builds. It's not giving this in gold. It's giving this in the points you've got to expend. So a halberd is D10, long reach, halt a target's progress, 3 points. Flint pistol, damage D10, concealed, D6 phases to reload. Armor increases your defense. Armor and defense. Defense is a crucial aspect of your Crown and Skull character. Anytime enemies attack, they make no roll. It's up to you to roll defense. All characters receive defense 6 at no cost. Basic close. Add additional armor values to determine additional defense value. Damaged or destroyed armor no longer contributes to this value, max of 18. When loading up on armor, duplicates can be carried, but only one of any type body location can be worn to boost defense. You can't wear 2 helmets, for example. That said, backups can be carried in your 10 item slots, but only one of a type body location counts towards your defense. Backup armor is just valuable to attrition as worn armor, is just as valuable to attrition as worn armor or other equipment. This gives tank heroes many vectors of strategy. So you carry more armor than you can actually use. That way it's crossed off. When hit by an enemy, you can cross off a piece of armor as your attrition. Most commonly, this means the armor is damaged beyond use. Some foes with corrosive or sundering attacks will destroy armor, not just damage it. Delete your item from the inventory permanently. Yes, so RuneJammer says, yes, backup armor is kingly. So that's absolutely a part of this design here. Backup armor is kingly. Armor skill. All heavy armor fighters worth their weight are trained in the repair of armor. This skill allows an armor to self-heal with a success skill roll. Fall back, strap down a dented bracer, charge. We were just talking about repairing armor the other day, right? What were we talking about that? I guess that was in, I don't remember what discussion that was in, but we were talking about the repair of armor, how that goes with, like how that was used in Diablo. We were talking about the original Diablo and the repair of armor. We're talking about trying to make the repair of armor like be a consequential decision to make, and whether or not that game design strategies succeeded or failed. So here we do have that come back. That the armor that you can self-heal with a successful skill roll. Doesn't sound like there's a penalty for doing that in the field. Probably not enough granularity for that, like it did in Diablo. Precious space. With the tightly limited inventory of your characters, you'll find there's often little room for armor, forcing the kinds of tough choices that make teamwork essentials. Okay, so this is gearing up with custom gear. Character creation, custom equipment, gear effects list. Gear limitations. Kind of GURPS-like, and expanded abilities and limitations on abilities, upgrading your gear. If you're playing a magic user in Crown and Skull, you have a wealth of possibilities ahead. You can choose from basic spells or let your GM offer available spells to buy with points as you progress, or create your own custom spells for unmatched fun of bespoke magical effects. Whenever you use pre-made spells, build them custom or discover them as equipment in the form of wands, staves, rings, or scrolls. All spells follow a few core rules in Crown and Skull. Spells are cast on command. By default, spells include one cast. Once a spell has no cast remaining, it is expended and must be studied again in rest and safety to cast again. The magic spell is rolled to contain infernal or unstable spells or utilize the Wizard Savant ability. It is also used as a defensive measure against enemy spells and effects in some cases. Somatics, duration, effect, range, targets. Character creation, basic spells. Armor, add +3 to defense, +3, that's 3-point cost. Stormcaller, conjure a type of weather when outdoors, 3 points. I carry 3 shields on most days. Yes, I saw that go by. Yeah, Griswold, the blacksmith, who would help you. Considering the defaults on page 41, you'll be feeling flimsy with touch-only spells at your most basic level. Always consider throwing the ranged upgrade on basic spells right from the get-go for 3 points. Trust me on this one. More custom spells. Choose a desired spell effects below, or roll a d4 for group and d12 for effect. So this is like spell effects group 4, 3 points cost. Change into a specified animal form. So there's something to add to it. Like here is that ranged. Cast up to long range and visible targets, which is most of the scene. Spell limitations. Campfire magic can only be cast in a safe place. Cannot be targeted. Druidic cannot be cast if the wearer wears or it's touching any metal. Madness. Each time the spell is cast, roll your magic skill. On a failure, take the crazy flaw until your next rest. I like that. I like building out magic powers in this way. Effects make spells cool. Limitations reduce their cost. Yes, GURPS like, and that's the limitations on things. Well, I got so many points to build my character, but hey, I want to be able to do this, but hey, if I do it, then I might go crazy, so I'll reduce the cost. We'll be offering Crown and Skulls as a PDF. This is the free PDF that I downloaded. Acquiring new spells. Okay. Character creation companions. Okay. 3-point companion, small animals. 5-point companion, medium-sized. At least here, when you're talking about creating a GURPS character with points, I mean, you have so many options, many of which won't even matter. Many of which won't matter. So I appreciate that in this, it seems like it's trying to reduce the number of options to things that are probably going to actually matter in this game. Choose a lineage when creating a character. Lineage does not include mechanical aspects, as each population is vast and diverse. Frogkin. Frogkin are honor-bound, trapped in a violent empire. Lord Crocomane. Oh, we saw that on the RuneJammer. Deeds. When our heroes have done more than just survive, more than gain wealth and equipment influence, but instead have risked their lives for the good of all and emerged victorious, when those moments occur, the realm must acknowledge a mighty deed. Acknowledges a mighty deed. Deeds provide 3 benefits to the players. Hero points. When a deed is done, each character receives 3 hero points. They can be spent if in a safe place or saved for later. Closure. Normally, the dangerous situations facing ordinary folk get worse and worse until the heroes come to help. Once a deed is done for such people, the decay of circumstances finally halts. And word spreads among the heroes' mighty accomplishments. Bards and poets will begin to assign them titles and nicknames. Renown. Renown is the inevitable result of heroic action, acknowledged by folks of the realm and GM alike as deeds. When these pile up, the honor of title is bestowed upon the band of adventurers. These are a few guidelines for getting 3 deeds, 5 deeds, 10 deeds. After several perilous chapters, a character earning 25 or more hero points in play, not at creation, will earn the attention of mighty forces. This hero is ready to make the ultimate choice, the crown or the skull. Once the threshold has been crossed, the GM will find an opportune moment to pose this question as part of the ongoing story. The deliverer of this choice will be a familiar lord, king, mentor, or trusted ally. Larger forces are at work, and a call to greater duties arrive at last. So you stand before me, a hero of the realm. Your deeds have not gone unnoticed. No longer can you chase the whims of petty treasures. Yours is a mighty calling, adventurer. Make your choice. With that, the king opens his hand, revealing 2 silver rings. One is carved with a 7-eyed skull, the other a high-tined crown. He waits patiently, all eyes on you. Since the fall of the world's unity 3 decades ago, many heroes have faced this choice. It's become tradition, a sacrament to lend order to a chaotic world. The crown is not simply the good guys, nor is the skull wanton evil. The question is a matter of alignment with the larger forces at work in the northern holds. For players, your job is to announce when 25 hero points have been earned. For the game master, you are charged with weaving this choice into the campaign naturally. Before we look at what's at stake, here are a few pointers. Sacred right. When presenting this moment in play, GMs be sure to pause the story a bit, revel in this moment. Heralds take the knee, trumpets sound. The ring itself. For added effect, offer 2 actual rings to the players about to choose. Spare no bravado in their presentation. Consider the group. Some groups may prefer to all reach the 25 threshold together, some independently. Survey their preference. The only chance. This choice is only offered once. If a hero refuses to choose, they will be scorned widely, possibly deemed an enemy to all. Okay, so what does that mean? Yeah, which is what I'm looking at, the player's guide. Sable says, what was it I heard someone say at a time that summed it up perfectly? This offers you a lot of options, but very few choices. Oh, in reference to D&D 5e. I like that. Yeah, we want to avoid that. We want to avoid providing lots of options, but few choices. Espresso RPG asks, to RuneJammer, would you say combat is a failure state in this game, or just a risky solution state? Does the question make sense? It's hard to phrase for me. RuneJammer says, no way, combat rocks in Crown. Our games are bone crunching. So those who choose the crown will join an order of protectors, knights, and heralds sworn to the well-being of the realm, the sanctity of all life, and upholding ancient codes. They swear to honor the decrees of kings and queens and to serve as a beacon of truth and loyalty. Gain 6 hero points, choose 1 crown skill at no cost, value 9, choose 1 crown equipment at no cost. Take the crown sworn flaw. If you disobey a royal summons, edict, or order, or are caught in doing so, the penalty is death. Gain a Ring of Anvil's Light. Roll of 9 or less on a d20 to heal 1 skill attrition for all close allies. Also, is that close as in physically proximate or close as in emotionally proximate? Also, add 1d4 to their defense until the next turn. When you choose the skull, you will join no order, swear allegiance to no one, and walk the world as a masterless rogue. They will spare no method or dark power to see their deeds done. They trust their own wisdom over the laws of kingdoms and motives of kings. Free to choose their own path, they will be honored by others who stand defiant, self-contained. Gain 9 hero points. Choose 1 skull skill at no cost, value 9. Choose any 1 skull equipment at no cost. Take the Ronin flaw. Unless in disguise, you'll be identified and unwelcomed in any high hall, throne room, council chamber, or royal household. Even in taverns and markets, you will be seen as suspicious. Gain a Ring of the Skull. When you make a kill, gain 1d12. Store this until desired to add or subtract from any roll you make in the future. So here are our crown skills. Court, Codex, Language, Ancestor, Bloodline, Skull Keeper. Crown Equipment. Skull skills, Silent Kill, Lift, Fade, Blood. In a pinch, drink the blood of your lineage to recover 1 skill attrition. Skull equipment. Okay, so this is NPCs that can assign you quests. RuneJammer says, we embrace constant combat and insane actions. So Sable Phoenix says, oh my gosh, the skull is so much better mechanically, but so much worse narratively. I love it. So RuneJammer says, yeah, the skull is superior mechanically. Yes. I noticed that we had the skull has gained 9 hero points. The crown has gained 6. One skull equipment. Yes. Heal 1 skill. So if you want the straight mechanical advantage, then the skull is it. Important NPCs. Lots of those. Infamous villains. Lots of those as well. Orders, guilds, and trusts. Let's see. The blood drinkers. An enemy primer. As a supplement to your free your player's guide, here's a brief condensed introduction to enemies in Crown and Skull. Enemies have 5 stats: HP, attack, defense, phase, and tactics. HP is a simple pool of hit points. At 0 points, the foe is killed. Attack. Enemies do not roll their attacks. Rather, players defend with their own rolls. The attack skill is a penalty for a player's defense roll. Defense. Enemies have defense to resist attack. Defense is subtracted from a hero damage roll. Some attacks degrade defense, such as degrading armor. Phase. Enemies take an action in 1 or more of the 5 phases in a round, up to 3 phases maximum per round. Tactics. When their phase comes up, monsters do 1 to 3 actions called tactics. As a GM, roll d6 to select a tactic. Tactic roll 1, displacement, dash, movement, target change, or regroup. 2 to 5 is common attack. 6 is area of effect attack that hits all or all near foes. Okay, to get a feel, it says, oh, there is a character builder online? So let's see. Skeletons. To get a feel for running foes in Crown and Skull, take note of the differences between the skeleton and the skeleton elite below. Try some small skirmish combats. 2d4 skeletons and 1 elite to get a feel of the movement, hurry, defense rolls, enemy stats, tactics, and the like. The complete version of the book includes comprehensive resources for game mastering, 40 enemies to work with, and much more. For now, here is the humble bag of bones. Skeleton. HP 10, attack 3, defense 3, phase 3, tactics 1. Tactic 1, stumble about and seek a new target. Tactic 2 to 5, skeletons uses rotting weapons such as iron spills or rusty scimitars from ages past. Basic attrition. Attack 6 is cleave attack. The skeleton builds enough strength to swipe its weapon at up to 3 foes in 1 strike with basic attrition. The inevitable skeleton. Ubiquitous servants of lesser evils and necromancers, denizens of crypts and guardians of graveyards. To mix things up with this classic enemy, mix a skeleton elite in now and then. A skeleton elite is a heavily armored warrior from a bygone day. This bag of bones was once a mighty captain, cavalry rider, or berserker. They walk at the force of their unit and can even speak, usually threatening foes or chiding their incompetent troops. HP 50, quite a bit more. Attack 5, defense 5, phase 4, tactics 3. Tactic 1, stumble about, seek a new target. Tactic 2 to 5, skeletons use rotten weapons such as iron spears or rusty scimitars from ages past. Destroy attrition. Destroy attrition. Destroying the item, not just breaking it. Cleave attack. Okay, and now then we get to our maps. As always, going through an RPG book makes me want to get to work. No matter how far flung our adventures, how high the plundered stacked, our greatest treasure was each other. Ingrid Bernal. All right, well, that is a quick look. Hey, Jason. It looks like just about going over the entire thing. So we just did a basic kind of run through, first look analysis with the creator, RuneJammer, of looking at Crown and Skull. So this was very interesting. I hadn't gotten a chance to do this yet. I've heard it talked about, but I haven't been able to sit down and actually go through the book yet. So I was very pleased to be able to do this here on Table Talk with you this morning. It was a great to be here. Definitely something that I want to do. And thank you very much, RuneJammer, for being with us. All right. Well, there's a lot to do today. I've got tons of stuff I got to look at manufacturers' quotes. I got to do some writing. I got meetings to take. It's going to be a busy Wednesday. And if I can, I got to cut grass at some point. So if you've been watching live with us, I really appreciate it. That was fantastic. I really enjoyed the comments as always. Having everybody in the comments section is a fantastic part of the morning grind. And if you're watching on replay and you have questions or comments, please post those in the comments. I do read all of the comments and reply. So thank you so much for being here. I hope you've enjoyed this. Hey, maybe Crown and Skull is one you want to pick up. Thank you, everybody, including RuneJammer, for being with us here today. I will see everybody later. Please go forth, be creative, be creative, be productive. I messed up my own line. Be productive, be creative, and be constructive. I think that was it. Later, everybody.